Mark, welcome to the UK Flooring Podcast. Imagine we're speed dating.
Excellent.
All right. You've got 60 seconds to tell me who you are, what you're good at, and you've only got 60 seconds. Go.
Okay, so my name's Mark Ewart. I'm the Managing Director of Apple Flooring. We are based in Basildon in Essex. We have two showrooms, one in Basildon, one in Leigh-on-Sea. We sell carpets, LVT, wood, and we like to think ourselves as flooring specialists within the industry. We play the game. We play against the big boys as a small family business, and we are known for always being competitive.
30 seconds to go.
30 seconds ago. Oh, my
Okay,
God. What else do you say?
What's your backstory?
So, my backstory, electrical retail from 1981 to 1995, working for Dixons, Comet and PC World. Then went to work for Courts, a furnishing company. Got made redundant from them. Then joined a flooring company who are based not far from here in Darlington or Yarm, called Laminate Flooring Direct.
Know them well.
With Barry Dunn and Chris Miles.
Wow. That's a very small world.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah, and then left Courts, obviously joined Laminate Flooring Direct as a regional manager, got made redundant in 2004, then took a leap of faith into the abyss and went out on my own. Started my first company called Ace Flooring, lost that business in 2009 through health reasons. I went into hospital with a hernia and took 2 years to get repaired and 4 operations later on. And I liquidated the company. Didn't owe anyone any money.
Yeah.
And then started Apple Flooring in 2012. Went limited 2013, and it's become a business that I never thought would grow as much as it has. It's phenomenal. I love it, which is really sad.
We've got that sorted there. So did you live in Teesside somewhere?
No. So when I was
Barry Dunn.
No. So Barry Dunn was the managing director, and sales director was Chris Miles for LFD.
Yeah.
And I was their southern regional manager.
Right.
So
okay,
I joined them when I left Courts and Homebase and as a regional manager, and then the flooring market changed, and HDM, who are the parent company of LFD, chose to buy the company instead of putting it on the stock market, and they made all the staff redundant. So at that point in June 2004, I took the leap of faith and went out on my own, right. And haven't looked back really since, apart from obviously losing the company through health reasons.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 2012, where we started Apple Flooring, from 2 containers, an office at home. The wood market then was very, very buoyant. LVT was just coming into the market, with Camaro and Cardine and some of the older brands, Amtico, not where we're at now with LVT. And then 2014, took another leap of faith and leased our first warehouse in Basildon. That was only ever meant to be a warehouse for storage.
Right, okay.
Hundreds of thousands of pounds later, it's a full-blown 400 square metre showroom over 2 floors with everything you can think of. It's a one-stop shop for flooring and flooring solutions.
Yeah.
So,
and then you went into another shop as well, is that?
So we decided to take another leap of faith effectively and open a second shop in Leigh-on-Sea, which is like a boutique area. Demographics are very, very good. ABC customers. Amtico decided to partner with us in there. We have an Amtico One dealership in that shop. And then we decided to have an Amtico One dealership in our showroom at Basildon as well as keeping certain other brands of LVT and wood floors within that. Yeah. So Lee is the satellite branch, and that has only been open a year now, and it's now starting to earn its own keep, which is really, really good. We're committed for another 2 years there because I've decided to pay the landlord 2 years rent in advance, so we're committed full stop. Okay. The Basildon showroom just keeps on going from strength to strength. It's phenomenal. I never thought we would grow as much as we have. I'd like to retire, I'll be honest with you. But whilst I still enjoy it, I will carry on working. I'm very lucky to have pensions I've taken from my previous employers, Dixons and Comet, which gives me an income. But the flooring business, I embrace. Full stop. You cut my arm off, you see flooring in my veins, which is really sad. But when it's your own business, I think it becomes a different animal because you create the destiny, you create the vision, you create the passion. And it's about working with customers, talking to customers, and being upfront with everything.
Yeah. What do you dislike about the flooring industry?
Oh, now that's a very... Backstabbers is a good one. Now,
without mentioning any names, what do you mean?
So I think the problem you get within the flooring industry is where you get certain companies that will supply commercial accounts for domestic projects. Is a real big problem, and I don't think it is policed correctly. The other issue you also have is the men in the van syndrome, where people, yes, they buy a nice new shiny transit van, but they're only looking after that part of it or their business. But when you have a flooring shop or a business, the on-cost and the responsibility is phenomenal, because you're forever outlined for displays, for merchandising, for stock, for staff, everything, training. And men in vans don't have that. And there's still certain suppliers out there that will turn a blind eye and supply men in vans, which I believe shouldn't happen. But it's all down to price at the end of the day.
So where would they buy from? Distribution or from retail? Or where, if you were a man in a van, where would you buy from?
Well, you go to distribution normally, but distribution should only really sell to shops, in my opinion, because obviously we're bread and butter. We're getting customers coming in. The biggest annoyance I have is you get men in vans or customers come and borrow your panels, and then you go out and spend time doing surveys, site visits, and everything else, and you give them a competitive price, and then they go and buy it online. That's another problem. Or
someone taking pictures in your shop and going,
people borrow my display panels. But you look at some of these displays, an Amtico 1 dealership or display is 30 grand by itself. Other people don't do that. And then you get certain commercial accounts in Essex that will sell to fitters and say it's for a commercial project, but get it at domestic commercial pricing, but supply a domestic customer. That's wrong. But what's even funnier is you see all of these pictures on their Instagrams and their reels and their Facebook pages, and you say, oh, I've been to that job, I quoted that job. But the trouble is, it's not, in my opinion, it's not policed correctly. Now, obviously, Apple Flooring have grown and have grown and have grown over the last few years. So we buy lots of stock so we can be competitive within the market. And a lot of people don't like that either. They'll stab you in the back about price. They'll slate you off. They'll talk about you. I'm fed up with that. If people have a problem with Apple Flooring, they should be man enough to come and confront me or talk to me about it, because I won't stab them in the back. I'll stab them in the front and tell them how it is, which is the better way to be. It's about everyday low prices. And that's where I get that from Comet, because that's how Comet grew immensely when they launched everyday low prices many, many years ago, to be the lowest price in the marketplace consistently and not be greedy.
No. And is that what people would like when they come to both stores or even one of the stores? Are you working at a very set margin, or are you looking at the sort of environment that they've come into, or how does that work?
For me, we don't distinguish whether you're a trade customer or a retail customer. We work on the lowest common denominator. We have to make a profit, and we stick to those profit margins we need to make, and then we'll sell out at one price fits all. Right, okay. I don't do discounts. I don't do sale prices. We just do one price fits all. Just keeps it plain and simple. And it's a win-win for everyone. It means fitters can still buy off us and get a good price. Customers get a good price. And if they want a fitting service or an installation or a floor grind, we can offer a whole service to the customer, which is really, really good. And that's what we want to do. We grow the business generically. We don't do a lot of advertising.
What advertising's worked for you?
What's worth advertising?
What's worked for you? What advertising have you done in it? It was brilliant.
So I've just decided to invest in a new website. So that will be my next call to arms, as one will say. And for us to supply more flooring on a supply-only basis, we can deliver nationwide. We deliver to the Channel Islands. We deliver to Europe already with our suppliers and our partners. It's all about numbers at the end of the day. A sale is a sale. A profit is a profit. If a customer has taken time out of their day to message me, pick up the phone, send me an email, it's only fair and with respect that I contact them to try and make a sale. Because they must have reached out to me in the first place, because we either got the product right, the service right, the price right, the showroom right. That's the reason that customers come back to us time and time again. But I think the best form of advertising you can get is word of mouth. Customers that refer you, Google reviews, anything like that can help grow your business. And we will always, always, always go the extra mile to help a customer where we can. We're in a customer-focused industry. It's a service industry. You have to do it. It's a tangible product. You can feel it, touch it, see it. It's not intangible.
No. Is there? Spoke a couple of times on the podcast with different wholesalers, manufacturers, and today, and no retailers. But there's been a dramatic thing of client experience in the showroom, which is no different to buying a car, no different to going for a steak. Client experience is getting more and more demanded. If you are just got a standard tombola and an old LVT stand, in my opinion, it's not good enough anymore. Even if you're good at what you do. At Apple Flooring, what have you adapted, let's say over the last 3 years, to, in your eyes, give a world-class customer service?
Everything. We start off with the showroom. We go back even. We start off with the branding. So we've changed all of the branding. So both shops, the website, and anything we do, all has the same colour bank, all has the same Pantones of colours, and everything all the way through. We invest in the showrooms. So we have all the latest displays from the manufacturers and suppliers that we deal with. I will invest in that full stop, whatever I need to have.
I'll ask you a question. What's your honest opinion of paying for stands?
It's painful, very painful. I get that investment for stands and actually R&D costs for products, and is a huge cost and fortune for suppliers, and it's got to be paid for somewhere. There's no such thing as a free lunch.
No.
I think stands need to be priced sensibly. Number one. Number two, yes, the retailer needs to be given an incentive to have that investment paid back, and that needs to be open-ended. It shouldn't be time limited, because if that supplier wants the retailer to work with them until that stand is paid back, that's a very good thing. Amtico One is a interesting option, where you have the Amtico One display, which costs around about £30,000. Yes, you get advantage on price of a couple of pound a metre rebate for the stand, but once that stand is rebated, you just revert to your normal tier one price. There are other price bands within Amtico for signature sale or signature showrooms, dependent on the turnover that you do. But back to stands, it's a lot of money. But I think the stand should be open-ended, rebated, until that stand is paid off, and the manufacturers can keep track of the tabs of the sales that go through. It shouldn't be time limited. You spend that £8,000 for a year, and you have to turn over 20 grand to get that back in the first year. Sometimes that doesn't happen because the brands are growing. And brands are changing all the time. You look at some of the brands now that have come into the marketplace: J2, Invictus, Brampton Chase, Project Floors. These, a few years ago, were not LVT brands in their own right.
Yeah,
they're grabbing market share off the bigger players. And yes, quite rightly, yeah, we will invest in the new stands to have whatever we need to have, the latest collection, the latest panels, but it needs to be rebated correctly, and the stands need to be priced fairly. Retailers, yes, can get put off by it, and that back to your original question. Yes, they need to be paid for because it costs retailers thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds to produce these stands. Carpet samples. I hate to think what Corma Carpet spend on sampling and all the binding and all the, oh my God, millions.
Yeah,
millions.
Most of the biggest, it's seven, 8 figures.
Yeah, but the stands need to be priced realistically for retailers to get on board, to go down the journey. It's about the retailer and the supplier, wholesaler, manufacturer working together, not being at loggerheads, in my opinion. And if you can get that, you're halfway there. And suppliers that want to help and support you as well.
Yeah,
training, development, sampling, all things like that, all help and give loyalty within the brands. And when the reps come to see you, for example, Carl's, like the reps come to see us, he'll train us on new products, he'll show us all the new wood products, all the new LVTs, all the systems. It's about that investment as well, because it costs time and money to put those reps on the road as well. It's got to be paid back somewhere.
It's an interesting question, mate. A little bit controversial, but I'll ask, because I know the stipulation of Amtico One. Do they tell you who you can have in the shop? Because obviously you've got cars. How is that managed at Apple Flooring? It's going a little bit left field, but I know some shops. Let's say that Amtico One, and they have no other brands whatsoever, and they've got a ground floor, and there is no other LVT whatsoever. There's a little bit upstairs, nothing else on the ground floor. How have you navigated that
So, okay, so we'll talk about it in a reverse way. So at the Basildon shop, we had spacious stands, Amtico form, we had the islands, we had signature stands, everything, but they wouldn't let us have an Amtico 1 dealership there because of 2 other Amtico 1 dealers within about 15 miles from us. That's their target, about 15 to 20 miles radius. So we then found our new shop in Leon C, and we decided that we would go Amtico 1 in there. Signed the FSA agreement, as they call it. And luckily, it's only exclusivity for 18 months, not forever.
Right, okay.
So we're now coming to the end of our 18 months with the exclusivity of Amtico 1 in Lee, and we've chosen to put another brand in there, which they're not very happy about already. And they try to tell you what you can and can't do. And I will not put up with that anymore. It's not fair. It's like being bullied effectively by them. If you can't do this, we'll take it out of that, or they'll find some way to close your account down or restrict. So luckily, obviously with Amtico 1 in Lee, we then said to them, well, as we've got one here, we can have a second one in Basildon, so we've now got one in Basildon as well. So if they want to take the one out of Lee, because we're not exclusive in there anymore, then they can come and take it out, in my opinion. But that's a decision me and Amtico have got to deal with. But I think exclusivity, it doesn't work. We had loads and loads and loads of other brands of LVT within our Basildon showroom. And actually, in some ways, I might have well as called us Woolworths pick and mix flooring, because we had too many. Right. Because there's only so many floors you can sell, and there's only so many brands you can have.
Did you have a stand collecting addiction?
Yeah. Well, not so much now.
No.
Because you have to make the decision, are you going to get mileage from these brands?
Yeah.
Are you going to get the return on the investment of these brands? And we can still buy some of these brands we took out. We still kept the accounts open, but we just don't show them as displays.
Yeah.
And for me now, it's about getting behind brands and working with brands that support Apple flooring. And also we can get the return on investment in the stands, in the products, and quantity of stock. We carry thousands and thousands and thousands of meters of stock to take away. Amtico, Invictus. We have a bit of Cardine still, Bowen Wood, Cars LVT. We've had a bit of J2 flooring on the shelf. We don't keep Moduleo on the shelf anymore, but we predominantly sit with 4 or 5 major brands and have stock to take away, so we can react quickly to the market instead of customers saying, or taking a quote from me, going to a competitor, and we can say lead time 20 minutes instead of 2 weeks, for example, which is a very, very true statement with Amtico, for example. But there, it's great. It's,
what flooring have you got fitted at home?
So we'd refurbed our house, and we looked at Cardine Art Select Glacier Oak initially. Then my other half decided she didn't like that. And we then ordered some Amtico. Even at a staff price, it's not much advantageous, I'll be honest with you. Anyway, it culminated in we had a couple we chose not to have them. We had Amtico form, Seaboard Oak, 6" by 36 laid herringbone. Had it cut so it all matches and goes together. Yeah. And then Amtico brought out a couple of new colours within signature, and I wish I'd waited. But we love it. It's great. It's easy to keep clean, easy to maintain. Nice size 6 by 36 herringbone throughout the whole of the downstairs. Right. We're going to do it on the stairs as well with some stair rods nosings and everything. Flooring grade ply, everything else. And obviously we'll get our Amtico accredited fitters to come and fit it. And that's something we spoke about earlier. I didn't realise how little or how fewer, considering the footprint of Amtico, how many accredited fitters they have. Yeah. If people want to invest in their fitters, the Amtico training course, yes, is a major investment, but it is very, very worthwhile. My fitters came back with all new hints, tips and tricks about how they do things. And we fit floors to a good quality anyway, but we now do it to British standard, which is even better. Yeah. So right plywood, right screws, right glues. We don't use PS, we only use high temp. And my fitters have taught me a few things because I'm always open to learning. And I love it. Some of the work, I'm very proud of what my teams do. Really, really proud of what they achieve.
Is your team all subcontracted? Do they work for you? How does it work? Like, what's...
Yep. So in the Lee shop, we have 3 girls, Denise, Karen and Sonia. And then in Basildon, I have my wingman, Dave, and our assistant, Carl, and someone else called Glenn, who might be here somewhere today. You might meet him tomorrow, Glenn Hawkins. Right. So they help me run the Basildon store as well and the warehousing. Our fitting teams, now I've offered to put them on the books.
Yeah.
They don't want to go on the books. I don't know why. No. They worked to me permanently 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and they don't need to go and look for any other work. They do the occasional private job, and I've offered to put them on the books, but we need to be careful of IR35, of course. And that's another conversation we have. The other stickler with fitting is a lot of customers are happy to pay fitters direct, and sometimes when you put VAT on a fitting through the business and the business has to make a markup, it can make it uncompetitive. So you have to be able to choose your words carefully with the customer. But fitters, my fitting teams, Dan and Bill and Dan and his dad, phenomenal wood fitters, phenomenal LVT fitters. My wood fitters is a guy called Albin, who's fantastic. I could tell you about a project he did last week for us. Absolutely phenomenal. Customer was amazed. And my carpet fitters, I have some really good fitters. Some used to work for Oxbridge Carpets, you might have heard of many, many years ago.
Yeah.
And some of the work they produce and generate is phenomenal. I wish I could kidnap you for a day and we'll take you to some of the projects that we do, and you'd get exactly where I'm coming from with it. And our wood fitting at the moment is some of the best I've seen in the 20 years I've been in the flooring industry. Albin and his chipmunks turn up. I know. Actually, I'll tell you the story of a quick job we did last week. So, a customer lives in Lowestoft. Stowmarket. So we had to go and collect the wood from the bonded warehouse at RAF Bentwaters. So I left home at 6, got to RAF Bentwaters at 7:30, picked up the floor, drove to Stowmarket, unloaded the floor by 9:30. Albin then has got 75 square metres of engineered wood floor to stick down over plywood through the whole of the house. 10:15, the floor is unloaded. 3:15, they've finished.
Wow.
4, him and 3 of his chipmunks turn up and done it. Feedback from the customer, over the moon. Couldn't believe they've done that in a day.
No, that's good.
I'm really privileged to have these guys working with me. I look at my fitters, they don't work for me, they work with me. So as a team, we achieve more. Some of the customers we have come in, we serve an espresso coffee. They come in and sit down, talk to us like you and I now, and they'll join in the conversation, have lunch with us as well, talk about their flooring, have an espresso, then go off home. My daughter, who's a nurse, she describes Apple Flooring as my social club.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. That's how you go on the journey with the customers. And that's why customers come back. We engage them. We're not hard sell. We engage the customer. I think that's the difference. And that's what, going back to something you said earlier, how flooring shops have got to be going forward. It's about the showroom. It's about the knowledge. It's about the passion. It's the price does come into it, of course.
Yep.
And it's about how you speak and treat people and engage them. And I get that from when I used to work for Dixons, the sales training courses I had then. It's about conversation. That's why hairdressers would make good salespeople for flooring businesses, because they know how to talk to people.
Yeah.
And it's the same with us, and that's what we do. We engage people, not high pressure. We give them a reason to buy from us because of the product quality, the price, the service, the showroom, the team, the whole journey, basically. So.
And you alluded to before about retirement. What's the end goal? What's the why? Because the reason why, I'll give you, so we work with Cochran & Co. So many clients that build and build and build and then get to a point and go, what now? And it's like, well, if you knew what now 10 years ago, at least you can build to that. But they get to a point where it's like, so what's the why and what's the game plan?
Well, apart from getting grief off the wife saying I work too much, so I laugh with her. So at this very, very moment, I'm actually meant to be somewhere between Palm Springs and Las Vegas. So I was meant to be on holiday for the next month, but because of work being so busy, I had to cancel my holiday, and then obviously, I was saying to you earlier, I've never been so busy. Our last financial year, our sales were one whole quarter ahead of the previous year up, which is a phenomenal increase.
Yeah.
And our fitting diary now is absolute pandemonium and chaos. I don't know which is best, actually. But I'm proud of that, and we're booking right up to Christmas now with LVT fittings. Wood floor fittings, we are booking into January. Carpets, we can do a bit more. But the end game for me, well, I go back to maybe when I was 21 and getting a letter from Dixons, and you'll laugh at this, and going home saying, Dad, I've been invited to join the pension scheme at Dixons. And my dad said, don't worry about it, just do it. And then you fast forward to where you are now. And when I was 58, I'm 62 now, I had a letter from Dixons drop on my doorstep. And you'll relate to this. And please contact Dixons about your pension. So I thought it was junk mail, just stuck it in the bin. Right? So 6 months later, I get a process server turn up saying, I have a recorded delivery from Dixons, sign for this. So I open it up, and it's about my pension. And they said, well, when the law changed, so when you were 55, you could take your pension. What's the catch? So I jumped in my car, went up to Dixon's head office, said, what's the catch? I said, well, no, would you like a load of cash tax-free and a pension now? So I said, yeah, all right. Yeah. So I then took my lump sum and from Dixons, Comet and Quartz. So 3 lump sums, so I get 3 pensions, as well as my salary from Apple Flooring. So it doesn't takes off some of the pressure financially. But my end game is to really maybe find someone who wants to invest in the business or take over the business. If I was to sell the business at whatever market rate we will get for it, I would happily work for the new owner for a year for nothing, because I would want to hand my baby over and know that it's in safe hands, because I care about it. Yeah. And then what would I do then if I did that after that year? Maybe have a year off, do a bit of travelling with my other half. She's retired now, thank God. And spend some more time with her and have some quality time with her. Because I do work 7 days a week in, week out. Even when I go on holiday, I set up in my European office in Lanzarote, right around the pool bar. And I have a lot of customers that know me as, oh, you're the guy that sells flooring sitting by the pool, which is quite funny. But the end game would be, my daughter and my stepdaughter have no interest in taking it over. I'd like to think maybe one of my colleagues, maybe Glenn or Dave, might want to buy into the business and take it over. Then I could just overlook it as a shareholder, and give them share options to keep them incentivized, because it's a good thing. Something we spoke about earlier as an industry, I actually think we do not have enough people coming into this industry, which is worrying. Not necessarily retailers and shop owners, but fitters, trained fitters, decent reps, the whole flooring solution. The only thing I think that causes problems with selling a business or retirement is landlords are too greedy on the rents and rates, and the government need to do more to help small businesses or SMEs to grow. And obviously, if they were to do and consider things like that, in my opinion, you'd get more businesses started and people starting up. And I think people have to be prepared to invest in their business, but invest in your people, buy the people. One of my hobbies, which I don't want, is I like watches. And people say about when you buy a watch from somebody, you buy the person, not necessarily the watch. And that's a very true statement. And it's the same with the business. People buy from a business because of the difference you or I make. You as an agent, as a rep as well, how you make to their businesses to help their businesses develop. And it comes back to what we said earlier. All of these things dovetail together. Support from suppliers, stands at right money, premises at right money, aids a business to grow. So if someone comes and makes me an offer for Apple Flooring, I'd consider it, of course.
Everything's for sale.
Yeah. Everything is for sale to a certain extent.
So let's say we sold the business tomorrow. What's the dream watch?
A Le Mans Daytona. If you know what one of those is.
No.
Very few people have got them.
What sort of money there?
55 grand to buy.
Yeah.
Second hand, 300,000.
All right. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So it's a good investment then. Proudest job you've ever done in your career, as in like flooring wise? What building, property? One job. I'm assuming you've done millions of meters, but is the one job you're really super proud of?
Oh, that's a very. I love all the flooring projects we create in for many different reasons, and I wish I could kidnap you or customers for a day and take you around to some of the projects that we do. But I think different projects have different things in my memory, not necessarily the technical aspect of it, because a lot of jobs are technical. I would say flats. We work with a big development company in London. They've used a lot of cars flooring in their projects, and we've done those with the stair nosings and everything else. And you see a development come together from concept or the plans, and you see it all the way through, right to the very end. And that's a real wow factor. And then you see the people move into these flats, and then ring you up for you to come and service their floors, and that's great. That's in wood. Now, obviously, wood is phenomenal. Wood changes. The market changes all the time. When we first opened the shop, 90% of my sales were wood. Now it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Some of the LVT floors that we produce, and having some Amtico accredited fitters that are quite creative. We've got a big job we're going to start in a couple of weeks' time, Castell weave all the way through.
Right, okay.
Phenomenal. We've just done a house in Billericay with Carl's Windfell, herringbone. Black design, black silicon. Phenomenal. You'd want to move in there tomorrow. It's a beautiful house. So I can't pigeonhole one particular job, but I think some of the flats and some of the bigger developments up in London, and then some of the smaller ones, the herringbones with the borders and the inlay and the wenge inlay strips, prime grade engineered wood, unfinished, sanded, and then Bonachemi and the wenge inlays and the borders. Sexy as hell.
Have you done any slabs, anything like that? Anything?
I attend. So the only celeb that keeps in touch with us, that comes in all the time, is Conor Benn, the boxer.
Yeah.
Him and his wife Victoria. Actually, V4 supplied some of their flooring.
Right. Okay.
He comes in. We sold them a load of flooring from another supplier, and he comes in for coffee with us occasionally. We meet a few personalities, but we tend not to make a big thing about it. We did a floor a couple of years ago in on the South Downs in that part of the world, and the agent gave us the job, and we came in, and then the customer came in, and it was Paul McCartney. So that was really cool. That was really cool. Really nice guy, down to earth. But celebrities are normal people just like you and I. The trouble is they have a bit more money. But they don't like spending. But they need to be treated with respect and treated right, and don't make a big thing of it. When I used to work for Dixons in Oxford Street, we used to get hundreds and hundreds of personalities and celebrities come in, but you just treat them as normal people. Their money's as good as the next man's. Yeah. Some celebrities want it all for nothing, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
And I won't do that. I won't work with collaborations like that. It's because it's got to be paid for somewhere. But no, some of the floors we do and the jobs we've got coming up for Christmas, we're really, really busy, which is good. And I can't wait to have the new website and start posting all the new pictures of what we've achieved over the last couple of years on there. We're just about to put all our pictures of all the jobs onto Dropbox so we can then load them all up. You should come down to the showroom in Basildon and come and see us. Come and have an espresso and come and have a look at the showroom. It's become an animal it's never meant to be.
No. And what's final question? What's next apart from the website? What's the next big plan? What have you got bubbling that you haven't done at all that you're going to do, or you're going to commit to do?
I think for me it's about developing my people, investing in my people and the shop whilst I'm still there, of course, to make sure we can give customers, trade, retail, domestic, the right service, the right products, the right price, and develop my own skills, my management skills. So will enable me to maybe take a day off or a step back. But I think for me, it's about investing in my business and investing in my people, because that I think is a big thing. Because some of my staff are young enough to be the future of the flooring industry. My fitters are young enough to train and develop and to be the people of the future of the flooring industry. Like one of our fitters, he has an apprentice and he pays him He's 24 now. He pays him 35 grand a year as an apprentice.
Yeah.
That's not a bad salary.
No, not bad at all. Yeah.
No. But no, for me, I think it's come to shows like this, see what's new, keep abreast of the market, read CFJ, read all the magazines, gain knowledge, which I soak up, which I love. But I think it's about then imparting that knowledge, the passion to my teams, to my people, and to the business to make it work, and everything else. You should come down to the shop, as I just said, and do a podcast in the showroom.
They are mobile. It is mobile, so I can bring it. No?
Yeah.
And I've got one more question, Mark. I've got many different people on tomorrow. What question do you want me to ask on the podcast tomorrow? I don't know who it'll be to. Could be wholesale, could be a supplier, could be just someone like yourself who has a couple of shops. But what question should I have asked you?
The suppliers, in my opinion, should protect the retailers that invest in the showrooms, the displays, the stock, to make sure that the retailers that have spent thousands and thousands of pounds on that, get it back and are getting support from that retailer. And that's where I think this industry falls down, because I think some of the the suppliers are too easy to supply, just a men in a van, and people that are not investing in a business. When I look at my new showroom in Lee, I've got to turn over 40 grand a month.
Just to open the door,
yeah, and that's a lot of money, because by the time you take out the rent, the rates, the electricity, the phone bill, the broadband, there's the displays, the investment, the 3 members of staff, the pensions, the national insurance contributions. You've got to be able to buy at the right money and have your areas or something protected, and that's another thing. Retailers or wholesalers or suppliers should not open too many accounts, because it becomes saturated. There's certain brands out there that let every man and his dog have everything, and areas become saturated. And that's another reason why I took out some of the displays that we had, because there was too many people having those products, and all it became then was a race to the bottom, and that's not good. No. That is not good at all.
No.
We need to invest in our businesses, invest in our people, work with our suppliers. We all need to work hand in hand together to move each business and our industry forward, and encourage people to come into it.
Yeah. And what question am I asking?
What are manufacturers going to do to support their retailers in margin and support retailers better?
Better, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who I've got on tomorrow, but we've definitely got someone. But no, thank you very much for coming on the podcast, Mark. I've enjoyed this.
No, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. It's a bit nervous, but there you go. It's a bit like being on LBC. I was on there this morning as I was driving up, actually. But no. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good to meet you at long last.
Cheers.
Cheers.